my dear sir and my dear friends. Today I stood before you to speak about ancient cities in Sri Lanka. Well, thinking of these ancient cities, we immediately remember about Anuradhapura, Polonnaru and Mahanagara. Or we could guess, Kandy. I'm really sorry about that. Well, most of those cities are ruined with the time periods and with those with the immense heat and with heavy rainfalls and with the tension going with those time periods like burning pollutants and lots of those things can cause a lot of damage to those ruined cities. And it is really hard to protect those ruined cities because sometimes we doesn't know the manufacturer, the engineering styles that they have been used to build those massive black buildings, and it is really fascinating to know about those ancient cities. Well, talking about these ancient cities, lots of them has different kinds of values because when we visit to a place like Syria, we see lots of forests and some animals like monkeys, deers and peacocks, and even the Syria rock is quite a fascinating scenery because a kingdom on a rock. It is like impossible to imagine people with building that kingdom with their bare hands. Just imagine that. We in this modern era we can make them with machines and the modern technology, but how did they make some kind of that fascinating magical kingdom on a rock? It is really hard to believe, right? It's like a miracle, or more like a fantasy story, right? So, talking about these ancient cities, let's go to Anuradhapura. There are lots of fallen kingdoms there, there are lots of lakes and ruined temples, cities, sometimes houses, and there are museums about those ruined places, and we can find a lot of ancient plate types and clothing styles, and sometimes we can spot some swords or crowns from those museums, and we can just imagine those things, the war between Chola and Sri Lankans, and it is really a blessing that we found those ancient cities because we know about our history, about our culture, and it is really important for us to protect those ruins because what will the future generations will think if they doesn't know a place like this or something like this, the fashion in those eras? What would they know if those things doesn't exist in the future time period? Well, we need to be really careful when we see those things. We could not take pictures of ancient paintings because the screen light will affect the painting, and it might be fading away, and sometimes we can have a lot of problems and damages, and it is really hard for us to make them become flawless and more recognizable for the eye of the future generation because of this modern era. The modern technology sometimes might hurt the real original picture. Well, the time is flying above my head, and I would be ending my speech now. Thank you for listening to my speech.